Hey, welcome back to Evil's Comics. This guy right here is Evil Mike, or Mike if you prefer, and I got a review for you today. Today we're going to be talking about from Image Comics, The Cull. It is written by Kelly Thompson, art and colors by Mattin de Iulis, letters by Hassan, Otsmane-Elhaou. I'm sorry if I mispronounced any of those names. It's no form of disrespect, just how I'm trying to read them. But before we get started, please like, comment, subscribe on this guy's channel. It does help a lot. Hit the bell if you're so inclined. I have no schedule, so if you want to stay tuned for when I do drop reviews. But without further ado, let's get into it. I had to hunt this book down. It was high up on my list. Based off a little preview that I got to see, but I was very interested in this book, but I knew very little about it. More the art, I don't know. But this is actually the preview that we got. It starts off at this rock. We get a before moment at a beach, and it's talking about that. And the rock is called Long Black Rock. And supposedly they're talking about, everybody was there. It shows everybody happy, chilling at the beach. But in one moment, everything goes wrong. This is actually what got me into the book. But you get this scene right here recorded from like a phone or whatever, and it shows the now. This was something I like to highlight, that it looks like that the people started turning into these things. But then we get a couple more pages, and this didn't make sense at first. But we'll get there. But she's making something, and I'll touch, this will be like touched on the last page. But we get our main character, which is Chloe. Basically, they are going backwards. It does say 12 hours ago, and they're catching up to that point that they, with the big crab or whatever it is. We do see this right here. I will like to point that out, the little boy. But basically we get to meet all these main characters, and they are basically sneaking out of their houses. I think they've told everybody, or some of them have not told people, but most of them have told, their parents this excuse that they're going to like make this movie or something like that, getting the parents to agree to it. We get this character right here, Katie, and all these characters, they seem like they're going to be the main character. I think Chloe, I'm sorry, is the main character, but you'll see it's kind of like a Scooby-Doo cast. So we get Katie, and that's what she's doing here. She's trying to get her dad to allow her to go out. We get the next two people, which happen to be Wade, and I might be missing this name, but we get two more characters. We get Wade, this guy, and I'm drawing a blank on this girl right here. And then we get Lux. Lux right here, we do see that she's covering up a black eye. They do kind of touch base with it in a second. And we also do see that this is her sister, and she's like asleep on the couch as she sneaks out. Most of them, like the first one, as she was sneaking out, her mom was asleep. Like you saw with Katie, her dad was there. I'm drawing a blank on the other girl's name. I'm sorry. I usually try and get all these names, but there you go. We got the whole group. They have snuck out. They've got to their meeting place, and we finally get to find out what they're really doing, because that even though they told their parents that they're going to go do, I think they told them that they had an invitation to go see a film that was going to be filmed at like 3 a.m. or something like that. They are planning on filming, but it has nothing to do with like a film or anything. A lot of this like cross conversation goes on about them like getting out of the house or whatever. We get this moment here, and Lux kind of falls in deeper because they are near the beach and the tide is coming up. They didn't like anticipate the low tide versus the high tide kind of thing, so the water is a little higher than they anticipated. But they are heading to a destination. But Lux ends up falling. Katie ends up catching her. This is when we get the scene with the black eye, and we get to find out what was going on. And we find out it's a scene with her sister. Her sister was dating like a beater, like he was beating her or whatever, and Lux stepped in the way. She defended her sister and ended up getting hit, in the process. But in the end, she explained that her sister kicked that guy and he's never coming back, and that's what she's explaining to Katie, like, you don't have to worry, you know, I'm sorry, I do have the black eye, but it's not because somebody's beating me, kind of thing. And Katie's just reassuring her that if anybody lays her hands on her, you know, that she'll be there to back her up as a friend, kind of thing. We finally do get to this cave, and we get a little more from Chloe, and she kind of mentions that she had been here before, and she remembers seeing this light. We do get to this light, and we're going to get to the next page and get to be seeing, like, what they see. But it's basically this, and you can see one of those crab things off in the distance, but it's almost like a completely different world. It's through this cave. It seems like Chloe had come here at one point, and I'll kind of zoom in because it's kind of hard to see, but these things over here, the crab things, they look like rocks, but there are rocks in there too. But basically, we found out at the very end that, and this is the very last page of the book, but basically, Chloe has brought all of them back here, and they all know why, and we find out, the reader finds out why, you know, they're all doing this trek, this quest, and that's exactly what it's going to be, because they're about to go through whatever this door or portal is that leads to another world. Now, Chloe mentions that she's never been inside, but she has looked inside and seen what's over there. But at this point, she is determined to go through, and we find out why, and it goes back to that picture of the little boy. And it's the little boy named Jakey, and it happens to be her little brother, and he has been lost and missing. In the very beginning of the book, there are, like, missing persons, pamphlets, and stuff like that hidden throughout the background. And she believes that her little brother has, you know, he did the unthinkable, and he went through the other side, and he's over there. And it seems like they're about to make this quest to go find little Jakey, or, you know, we do get a cover gallery. We do get kind of one more image or whatever, but I will say some of the covers were dope. I had to hunt this book down. They did offer this one, but I didn't see this one, but I was just happy getting the cover I did. But there are some other fantastic covers that I might grab if I see, because I love this first issue, but that's all we get from the first issue. There's no hint or nothing to the next issue, no. But at this point, I don't want any. It was good enough. The cliffhanger was dope. We got a setup of the story. We got the quest. We got our members of the quest, minus the one girl that I couldn't place her name. I might add it in with the editing of, you know, I don't know. But man, if you read this book, let me know. It was one of my highly anticipated, you know, reads, something I was looking for, but just based off the title, the cover, and the art, I didn't know anything about it. And it turned out to be something amazing. The first issue actually felt like it could be broken down into a TV episode type of thing very easily. I don't really care about all that, and then unless it becomes an engaging story, and then let's talk about the TV and movie stuff. But hey, this is my review. I will let y'all go. Y'all please comment down below. Let me know you were here. What do you think about this book? That's all I got for you. Bye!